Good morning, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and it is Saturday. It is about, I don't know. I don't have any idea because I haven't changed the times on my microwave or my stove yet. That was due to being out of power for 3.5 days, but we are cozy warm today. Grandma, are you warm and cozy?
Oh, yes.
She's sitting right over there watching her birds, and I am making breakfast. So today I'm just going to bring you along for the day, what I do in a day. And I have a glorious agenda in my head. Now, if I get to any of it, woohoo, that'll be great. So right now I'm starting a brunchy breakfast for the family. I've got some onions and some peppers in that little frying pan right there. I'm going to add some of my own farm eggs. And then I've got 3 little commercial hash brown patties. I'll fry those up, and I've got 2 English muffins. I will split those open and toast them. Grandma and I will share one. My husband will have a whole one. And we're going to start the day with breakfast. Now, Grandma has some church friends that are expected to come this afternoon, so I need to get in there and change her bedding, vacuum her room, make sure everything's tidy so they can enjoy their visit. Then I need to make sure that the front of my house is nice and tidy. And then I need to do some canning. I got these beans at the food bank on Thursday. It's 2 pounds? It's 2 pounds. So I'm hoping to make 4 pints of green beans. Then I have some butternut squash, some that is already cubed that I want to can. And then I've got some hard winter squash in my pantry. If I feel like it, I'd like to get to that. And I need to bake some cookies for Grandma's church friends. God, I'm tired just saying that. So I don't know how much of that I'll get done. I might get breakfast out and say, I'm done. We'll see. All right, so that's what this is going to be today. Just a day in my life. Nothing special. This is what I do on most days. All right, I'll be back. Okay, here is a plate. We are all eating the same thing. You can see scrambled eggs with peppers and onions. The eggs are from my chickens. The peppers and onions are either from the well or the food bank. The hash brown patties are mine. Grandma's having juice, a little box juice. That's ours. And then Addie and I are having some of this grape juice, and that is food bank. So that is breakfast this morning. Woohoo, people. Moving along. All right, we are moving right along, sort of. Everybody's eating breakfast. I still have a kitchen to clean up, but I did want to go ahead and get my green beans in the pressure canner because they can while I am cleaning the kitchen. So I used a recipe called lemon garlic green beans, and it is in this cookbook, and I followed it exactly except for one thing. It calls for lemon juice, and I added the lemon juice, of course, and then it called for some lemon zest, but I am going to put my lemon zest on my beans when I serve them, not in the canning process. So this is what my jars look like, and instead of liquid, they're canned in some of my homemade chicken stock. So those should be pretty good. There's 3 and 4. The first one was already in the canner. So they're going to process for 20 minutes at my altitude. So let's go ahead and get that going. Lock. Starts off on exhaust. We're going to do start, high, 20 minutes. There we go. And we're good to go. Now I can clean my kitchen while this is processing, and I also need to get in and get Grandma's room straightened up. Need to change her bedding and vacuum her floors while she's sitting out here. So I'm going to take a little rest because that's a big job, and I can already feel that I'm tired. So just another day in my life. All right, thank you. Okay, this is Grandma's room. We put up her Christmas tree last night. but her room does need attention. I need to change the sheets on her bed. I need to take care of that nightstand. I have some stuff over here that is not attractive. This pile right here I am not touching today. That is just bigger than the time that I have. Got some stuff down here. And I don't know if you can see it, but the carpet needs to be vacuumed. So I'm going to take 20 minutes right now and get her room in working order. And then I'm going to bring Grandma in and get her ready for her nap. All right, here's the room. You can see that I vacuumed the floors, changed the bedding on the bed, cleaned up the nightstand, dusted the nightstand, took out 2 things of garbage. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to touch this corner because I just don't have the energy or the time. Might have the time. I don't have the energy, you guys. All right, Grandma's room is good to go. I'm going to go get her, bring her in. She can take a nap. When she wakes up, hopefully her church people will be here. All right, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think my green beans are done, so I'm going to pull those out of my canner. I'm also going to, once I get my counter space cleaned off again, and this thaws a little bit, I'm going to can this butternut squash today. But I want to get a start on dinner, and I don't want to have to do a lot. So I am going to make my minestrone soup that I made the canned soup for. So let's look down here. Let's see if I can get that for you right there. Okay. I opened 2 jars of my minestrone soup, and so I'm going to start with that. Just like that. And to that, I'm going to add an additional can of drained green beans and a full can of diced tomatoes. Now I have my home canned ones too, but in this particular soup, I'm just going to use this. And that's because I just like it a little bit thick and stewy. And then I also opened a can of my navy beans, and they're already in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on top of the stove. I have some water boiling so that I can put some macaroni in here. And this is going to be a nice soup for us for a few days. I think this will be really delicious. I'm also either going to make some cheese biscuits, or the guys down the hall, they brought us a loaf of jalapeno cheddar bread, and I might just toast that instead and make toast to go with the soup tonight. I should probably do that. That'll be a better use because my biscuits mix can stay on the counter and I can use this bread here. So let me get this on the stove, and I think that once I pull my beans out, my squash will not quite be thawed enough to work with. I'm going to go ahead and make that jar of the oatmeal raisin bars, I think. Okay, I got the dishes done. My husband did a load this morning, I think, and I did a load or finished a load just now. I have my first batch of cookies done. These are the white cherry, the white chocolate cherry oatmeal bars. Those are very good. Now I'm going to pop in a bar of the oatmeal raisin, and then I'll have some cookies that I can put on a plate for Grandma's company if they show up. All right, so that's done. I'm going to have to change clothes eventually, put on something, you know, semi-respectable, as these are her church friends, and we'll go from there. So let me set the timer and get these in the oven. I do have my butternut squash over there. I am going to read the directions really quick and I'm going to can those. I'm hoping I can get, it says 2 pounds. I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 pints, I think. We'll see. I'm going to do that next. All right, moving right along. I have 4 pints of butternut squash. 2 are already sitting in the canner. I'm going to add these 2. They are going to process for 75 minutes, and we will get that done today. So there we go. Lock the lid. Put the top on exhaust. Hit start. Pressure can, high. 75 minutes. And hit the start button and we're done. So that can just be doing its thing while I move on to the next thing. I do have cookies in the oven, soup on top of the stove. At some point I got to change clothes. My living area looks pretty good. So most of the things I wanted to get done today, I am getting done. Just another day in paradise, people. All right, I'll be back. Good morning, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and it is Sunday, the 24th of November, and we have Thanksgiving right around the corner. Can you believe it? All right, yesterday I did a video called A Day in My Life, and one of the things that I did that day is I canned 4 pints of butternut squash that I got from my food bank. And I don't really like the way it looks, but that's okay, because usually with my butternut soup I make, or with my butternut squash, I generally use it for soup. So I'm usually pureeing it anyway. I make a white bean and butternut squash soup. Sometimes I make curries and I blend up the butternut squash. So it's really okay. But while I was dinking around last night, because your girl, she's a stinking dinker. That's kind of cute, right? Stinking dinker. I found a recipe on a website for butternut squash brownies. And the website is California Cravings. And California and Cravings are spelled with the letter K. Looks like she has a lot of really nice recipes there. So go check her out. I am going to try these brownies. So let's get to it. Let's see what kind of disaster we can do today. So my kitchen is not terrifying, but it does need some work. But I'm going to bake first and then I'll clean while the stuff is going. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to open a can of my butternut squash, and I want to see after I blend it up if I have a cup, because that is what I need. 1 cup of pureed butternut squash. So let the battle begin, because this never wants to open my jars nicely. Ever. So let me come back because I'll be here 30 minutes. Okay, here we go. I have 1 cup of puree in the bowl and 2 eggs. And now I'm going to add a little bit of my vanilla. And let's see what we've got here. I think it calls for a teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2 because that's just the way I like it. And 3/4 cup of sugar. Let me bring you down. Can you guys see okay right there? It's a little bit messy. My kitchen is messy today. There's just nothing I can do about it right now. I'm gonna get these in the oven and then I'm gonna clean some stuff up. So 3/4 cup of sugar. That looks like 3/4. And then we're going to add 1 cup of cocoa. 1 cup of cocoa? No, a 1/2 cup of cocoa. It's a good thing I double checked that. All right, about a 1/2 cup. That looks like about a 1/2 cup, maybe a little bit too much. There we go, 1/2 cup. A teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda. Right here. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to mix that together. It goes together very nicely. And then we'll see what we do next. All right, we mixed that all together. Now we're going to add 2/3 cup of flour. Can you see that right there? Okay, 2/3 cup of flour. There's 1. And I've got a 1/3 measuring cup here. There's 2. All right, let me mix that together and I'll come back for you. Okay, now this recipe calls for 1 cup of chocolate chips in the batter and a smattering of chocolate chips on the top. We are not going to do that. I'm going to add maybe 1/2 cup. I'm going to add 1/2 cup. And I don't think that I will bother putting my chocolate chips on the top. Okay? No, I don't think so. I think we'll just do it this way. All right, so let me grab a spatula and my 8x8, okay? All right, little snafu. The recipe says your puree must be cold before you start this recipe, and mine is room temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in my lined pan and pop it in the refrigerator for about 20 to 30 minutes. Everything should be nice and cold and we'll bake it like that. So here is my 8x8 pan. Oh, I was going to grab a spatula. All right, I have the bowl, I have the spatula. Here is the pan. All right, let's see what we got here. You guys see? Okay, let me put this in the refrigerator and we'll come back in 30 minutes. What have I been doing? Would it be licking the brownie bowl? Maybe. But if you guys didn't see it on camera, then, you know, did it happen? It tastes like brownie batter. And if this brownie recipe turns out nice, I imagine it's on the same line as when you take out butter or oil out of your recipes for bread and brownies and whatever, muffins, and you add applesauce. My guess is it's going to be the same kind of thing. The nice part is that a lot of times, even in off-holiday season, you can find cans of pumpkin puree at your food bank. And if you can, You can make brownies like this without having to use your butter, because we all know that butter is expensive, and we tend to save that for the things that we really want the butter on. So we'll see how this comes out. Now I'm going to let that cool for 30 minutes. I'm going to take a little rest. I'm going to come back and clean out this counter. I want to make lemon bars and some raspberry crumble bars. A friend of my husband's did a bunch of work for us, and of course we paid him, but he has a big fat sweet tooth, so you know, I'd like to bake some cookies. The guys around the corner are, you know, jonesing for some lemon bars, and I might be able to accommodate that too. We shall see. All right, I'll be back. All right, it is Sunday, 12 noon, and I forgot to show you two things that I did yesterday. The first is I took those strawberries that I got from the food bank and I cleaned them all up. They were in really good shape, and I put a little sugar on them and stuck them in the refrigerator, and that's going to be delicious. Can I get the lid on? Oh, I guess so. And then I also made some coleslaw with that mix that you saw. Okay, so Grandma will enjoy both of those things. So will I, so will my husband. So good. All right, that finishes up what I did in a day. Can you see my refrigerator? All nice and clean. All right, you guys, have a great day. Ta-ta. All right, our brownies are out of the oven. Let's see if they are worth it, shall we? Here we go. No, I would say not. Okay, these are not good. So the flavor is not bad. I mean, it's okay, but it's not anything that I would want to ever make again. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to feed these to my chickens. Also, the texture is pretty spongy. I don't like the way the top is sticky. It doesn't cut nicely. I would say this is not good. But that is just my personal opinion. If you want to make brownies and you want to try a butternut squash recipe, Google butternut squash brownies. This one happened to come from California Crazy, I think. I'm not sure. I will not be putting that information in. I'm just saying, for me, this is a no-go. I do not like this. No, it's not even worth a second bite. Here comes my husband. I'm going to ask him to take these out to my chickens. Babe, these brownies were not good. Can you run these out to them? Oh, can you? Okay. All right. You were looking at me funny, and I didn't know if that was a no. You won't, which is fine. They're not good. The texture is really kind of gross. Okay, he's going to run these out to my chickens for me. They will love it. We do not. All right.